Welcome to TimesRecordNews.com Dallas Cowboys Breakdown. This is Andy Newberry with Jonathan Hull. We witnessed the first game that didn't go well and then watched on TV as it went a lot better. The consistent thing was that the running game's been good.
Yeah, it's been impressive. That offensive line is really creating its identity as just mowing down the opposing. I mean, they're road graders almost. Getting out there.
It's amazing how big those holes were, and it seemed like
it was gashing
consistently, drive to drive.
Gashing, 6, 7, 8 yards, and then break off the long one. I mean, Murray averaged, 5.8 a carry, I think is what he ended up with.
Leading the NFL in rushing.
Yeah,
which we probably haven't hardly seen since the Emmett Smith days.
It's been a long time.
2 weeks in.
Yeah, 2 weeks in. No, definitely not 2 weeks in. Somebody leading the league rushing from the Cowboys. I don't think anybody has since.
Yeah, I mean, they had big games from Julius Jones here and there. And,
Marion Barber might. Yeah. I don't know how often he even ran for 100. It was very rare.
But for them to stick with it, they talked about it. They spent the lineman draft picks, but we'd not seen them stick to it, and you kind of half expected, even when one brief moment it became a game Sunday, Tennessee gets back to 16-10, and you're thinking, oh, they're going to start throwing and throw it away right here.
Well, it's nice to see them making use of that draft pick. For as much as we're hearing Jerry Jones lament about not getting Johnny Manziel, they're making proper use of the Zach Martin draft pick. And the middle of that offensive line, and I mean, even the tackles too, but between the tackles, they are creating a lot of space, a lot of holes. DeMarco Murray's exploding.
Yeah, there is a problem in that as well as they are run blocking, when they're getting in obvious pass situations, I think it's still been C- or worse.
Well, you don't like Doug Free against top-notch pass rushers still.
No, I don't like him against most anybody right now.
And most teams are, and teams know that too. That's why Jarrell Casey a lot of times was lined up over Doug Free to rush the passer. And it didn't matter if Jarrell Casey wanted to go outside or inside, he was going to beat Doug Free. And that's why Tony Romo got sacked 3 times early in the game.
Yeah. So that was ugly. I also thought, the Cowboy defense, for a no-name defense, is playing pretty well.
Yeah, it's not doomsday by any means, but that is playing well. I mean, all things considered, I still don't like. There's no pass rush.
They shut down the outside receivers,
but they've done
the other day.
Really, the corners, the secondary has been
that hurt them.
Yeah, they can't defend the tight end. They don't have a safety or linebacker to cover a tight end.
We've seen Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker beat them pretty bad.
Whip them,
but they get Jared Cook with the Rams this week.
That's right. But luckily, Jake Locker couldn't hit the broadside of a building. Luckily, Delaney Walker's bigger than a broadside of a building, apparently, because he's the only receiver he could find. Jake Locker really helped them out this past week.
And this week they're facing a guy who's probably not as good as Jake Locker.
I mean, they're going to get the third string quarterback, I think, in St. Louis with Sean Hill being hurt, because third string played this last week. I can't even think. Austin Davis.
He got the start. And at times he looked competent, and they did well down there.
They've got underrated weapons around him there. I mean, I like some of what they've got.
Zach Stacy?
Zach Stacy's been pretty good. Brian Quick's really come on. I mean, there's some things to like. Even Kenny Britt is still on the team, and he can catch a ball occasionally. And Jared Cook is an underrated tight end, too. So there's some weapons to work with the quarterback.
I don't see I kind of like the Cowboys in this game.
I do, too.
I know that they should be stacked up. Murray has killed them. He's averaged like 600 yards a game against them. I'm barely exaggerating. But
I think it's actually.
But he had his career high against him, and then last year he hit him for another, $150 or more.
175, 203 total from scrimmage. So, I mean, he's averaging over 200 yards of scrimmage in 2 meetings.
When he sees the Rams.
Yeah, he's made a career against the Rams. So, you got to think that they're going to be, as long as they stick to this identity, how much you trust Jason Garrett and that coaching staff, and even Tony Romo, because he does have some power out there on the field, to stick to this running game identity. That's really the question now.
And when it's a key play, it doesn't hurt that it's 3rd and 5. Let's get the ball to Des Bryant.
Yeah, no, but of course don't force it to Des Bryant either, because Tony's got a habit of that. So he showed that in the first game.
So, but if this is a big mental test for them to me. They've got the Saints on the next home game, and that's not been a good matchup for this defense.
Yeah,
and so I think it's nearly a must-win if they want to be a playoff team or better than we think they're going to be.
And you think about how much they've given up to 2 tight ends in 2 games, and then you think about Jimmy Graham with the Saints.
Yeah, I think they need to get this win in their bag before they start preparing for Jimmy Graham.
That's what they've got to think of. I do think they'll beat the Rams. It's 2 wins on the road, and that's big in the NFL. You want to get that. you got a pretty tough one at home coming up after that. So it's probably, you want to get this one now, maybe be 2-2 after.
Neither one of us were real optimistic at the start of the season on the final record, but we both like them this week to go to 2-1 and at least build some momentum going into that.
And then if we stick to our original projection of 5-11, I mean, we're talking about a major slump at some point during this season, but I still.
But you got to give yourself a chance by starting out well.
Yeah, and they've done well. They've given them what they did in this last game was provide a formula for themselves to win, and that's to play good enough defense, get the running game going, and have special teams contribute in the smallest of ways.
And all they had to have was average quarterback play.
Yeah, that's it.
And most of the time he's going to be above average, but if you set it up where average quarterback play wins for you, then that's the formula that'll work for you.
Now it's just sticking to that formula.